All right, here we go. Salute to Knicks Nation on this Monday evening. Another Knicks Fan TV Bleacher Report simulcast. CP the franchise in the building. On today's show, we are going to talk about Jalen Brunson, man. We have an injury update on the captain, Jalen Brunson. Plus, Tyler Kolek mania continues. The Knicks met with the media today to talk a little bit about Tyler, the creator, and the Knicks will be tipping off against the Dallas Mavericks on Tuesday. So we're going to be talking Knicks. Call us up in the KFTV Discord. And joining me on today's show, he is a New York State Senator representing the Republic of Brooklyn, as Spike Lee would say. He is Zellnor Myrie joining us today. So hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Shout out to everybody tapping in. YouTube, Bleacher Report, Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram. We are live, the number one show for the fans by the fans. So lock in, and here we go. All right, Senator, how you feeling today, man? Welcome to Knicks Fan TV, first and foremost.
It's good to be here. I appreciate all that you do, how you keep us posted, the energy that you bring. So it is really an exciting time for me to be on with you. And it's good, actually, just to be talking hoops, man. I talk about a lot of stuff, but I don't get to just chill out, talk some hoops. So I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm sure. Listen, you have a lot of bigger fish to fry, a lot of important things to discuss. But, hey, anytime we can, just bring some hoop talk to the conversation, I'm glad to be able to facilitate that. And, given the current state of the team, the third seed in the East, 70 games in, 12 games left, where do you see things from your purview?
This is one of the best seasons that I have seen in my lifetime, but one of the most hopeful seasons. I think that we have put some pieces in place that are going to allow us to go the distance in the East. I know a lot of people have a lot to say about how we match up against Cleveland and Boston and, what preferences we might have in the first round. And I'm sure we'll get into that as well. But we really want hope. That is what Knicks fans, that's what keeps us going, just the possibility that we could go all the way. And I think this is one of the strongest seasons we've had to give us that possibility and that hope. We got 2 All-Stars. We got a very solid rotation. You were just mentioning some of the people on our bench that I think are going to be, if they are allowed to, emerge and be stars on this team. Try to make it a little spicy here. So I'm excited as a Knicks fan. They got the city excited. And if all remains healthy, I think we're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, look, it all depends on the health of the captain, Jalen Brunson. We're going to get to Tom Thibodeau, head coach Tom Thibodeau's comments on him in a little bit. But look, I'm with you. I think the regular season and the postseason are two different animals. We had Brooklyn's own Stephon Marbury, a guy who's played in the game and speaks on it. Like, listen, there's 3 different seasons. You got the preseason, the regular season, and the postseason. All different seasons and different animals. But I think that this team, if they get into there healthy, with the captain Jalen Brunson at the top of the priority list, you have Miles McBride, also a very important piece to that Knicks bench. I think if they get in there healthy, they should be able to make some noise, man. I'm very confident, at least in the first round, and then we'll see what happens there when they're going to have to tussle with the beasts of the East.
Look, anything can happen in the playoffs. And what you always hope for, at least as a basketball fan, is that you can walk into a series, you could watch a series and say, look, we got a shot at this. We may not be the favorites. We may not, come in with all of the tools, but anything can happen. And look, we come from the Mecca. You got to come to the Garden and win games. That is a different beast than any other place in the country, frankly. And there is no crowd like a New York crowd. And I'm willing to bring anybody. I'm willing to play anybody in the playoffs. And that's my hope, that we get past the first round and then anything can happen.
That's what I'm talking about, Senator, because on this show, and the fans have been mad at me, especially over these last 2 games that they've been losing. I've been like, listen, we are all 82. We are in this thing for the ride. We don't duck smoke with anybody. We're not scared of anybody. You got to lock in. So I like your frame of mind here as his team approaches the playoffs in the final 12 games.
Look, to me, it's anti-New York City. Let's just be clear. It's anti-New York City for
Mm,
you to be afraid of anybody.
yeah.
And so like that's not how we never give it up that way. That's not how we're gonna give it up now. We are willing to play anybody. And look, I understand. I'm not divorced from reality. I understand that we did not play well against Cleveland and against Boston during the regular season, but that's the regular season. We have a new opportunity in the postseason to make some noise, and I'm excited about that opportunity because anything can happen in the Garden.
Yeah, likewise, man. And you know what's your origin story as a Knicks fan? Like, tell us who's your team, who's your guy. What's your Knicks fan origin story?
So I think like a lot of Knicks fans, a lot of sports fans, frankly, I got my fandom from my pops. He was the one watching games, and I before I even could understand, conceive of what was happening in front of me. This was just me trying to inch up next to my dad,
Mm.
spend time with my dad as he's watching TV, and eventually you start to learn and figure out what's happening. I used to always wonder, why is my father yelling at the television? I could not understand this as a kid. And then so you start like yelling too, even if you don't know what the hell's going on. And as I grew to understand the pain of being a Knick fan, and I came up, I was born in the late 80s, and started watching and being cognizant in the 90s. And so as I saw MJ march his way through our Knicks on his way to some championships, that was my real origin story of now we got to stick with the team. And
Hmm.
as I started to play ball myself, not anywhere near professionally, but I started watching some of the players that I wanted to emulate. And Allen Houston's jumper was to me a thing of beauty. And that is how I have tried to shoot. Now, don't ask me how close I've come or if I'm anywhere near that. But when you're a kid and you're a kid from New York, and you grow up watching Starks, you grow up watching Houston, you grow up watching Sprewell, you grow up watching Ewing. These are the guys that you try to hoop like, and even the guys that were from the city, like Mark Jackson. You bring that grit, you bring that energy. So that's my origin story, and I like to think that I keep that energy as well as someone who's in elected office.
Yeah, it's always interesting. I love asking that question to my guests because everybody gives a different guy. Like, Allen Houston is one who I didn't hear. I've heard Melo. Mine was Ewing. As a kid born to Jamaican immigrants, that's almost every kid's guy. It's Patrick Ewing
Right.
when you're my age. I'm 40 now. But, I've heard from Melo. I've heard Bernard King from the older generation. You go back even older to the Clydes and the Willis. So everybody has their guy that really captivated them and drew them to this team. It's a beautiful feeling.
That's right. And I was drawn to Ewing as well. I'm from Central Brooklyn, and both of my parents are Caribbean too. And they are from Limon in Costa Rica. But if you know anything about the history there, most of the black people are from Jamaica, and Myrie is a Jamaican surname.
Mm,
And so we grew up in the Caribbean melee in that flavor. And man, Patrick Ewing was like a god to us. He
yeah.
was the guy still putting on for the culture. And I'm a sneakerhead, and part of my sneakerhead origin story
Mm.
is that first asked my mom's for a pair of Jordans. She was like, "You're not getting anything until you get a job."
Right.
And
Yeah.
but there were some sneakers that were in the price range. And when Ewing dropped his stuff, that was something that you could still cop, and be somewhat in style in the neighborhood if you couldn't get some J's.
For sure, for sure. Now, is Mile that's on the Caribbean side of Costa Rica or the Pacific side?
So Limon
Mm.
was is on the Atlantic side
Okay.
of the country, and this is a real Caribbean enclave. This is the history there. Very quickly is once slavery was abolished in the British Empire,
Mhm.
a lot of the former enslaved they made their way to Costa Rica to try to get work, and they were building a railroad across the country, and Limon was the port that they came to,
Mhm.
and just ended up staying there. And so I grew up with both cultures. I grew up listening to reggae and soca and also salsa.
Mm.
And I was, eating oxtail and rice and peas,
Yeah.
but also plátano and another and sancocho and all of those things. So really a mix of the two. And again, very New York City story.
All of my favorite foods in one, man. So that's a beautiful thing. And yeah, when I went to Costa Rica, I did meet a lot of people from Jamaica that were still working down there. So it's interesting how history kind of shapes our path and it kind of continues across generations. So very interesting story. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. On the YouTube side, all of my franchise channel members, salute to you guys. Thomas Donnery, 2K Anthony J, Gregory Weiner, Father Peace, salute to you. Shout out to Birchfield Smith, and he says, hey, CP, this is Isaiah shouting you all the way from Antigua in the Caribbean. Big up to the Knicks.
Hey.
Knicks all the way 100%. And he says, Senator is on point. So we got a guy checking in from all the way from Antigua, Senator. So it's a worldwide phenomenon.
I love that, man. I love the Caribbean diaspora. Big up yourself one time.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, for you representing Brooklyn, the Brooklyn Nets did establish some roots. I don't know if you want to call it establish that, because as my guy, the rhyme animal Chuck D said last night on last night's show, they're all over the place, from all over New Jersey to Long Island. They're all. I don't even know if they really can claim a home. Now, when they did open up there, were you ever tempted to jump ship?
Look, I am a Brooklyn person.
Okay.
I grew up on Flatbush Avenue, and so Berkeley Center is on Flatbush. And so when the center opened up, separate from the Nets for a second, when the center opened up, I had just finished taking the entrance exam for law school. And this was when Jay-Z did like 7 straight shows to open it up. I think I went to like the 6th show to celebrate that I was finally through with this test. And I was like, all right, this is cool. This is exciting that we have this here in Brooklyn. I'm also a very big New York Liberty fan.
Okay.
Like hardcore, and that is something that I'm supportive of. And of course, I'm going to root for the Brooklyn team. I work with them in the community. We do basketball clinics. We do things for our friends and our neighbors. And so that's important. But look, man, I'm a Knicks person at heart. This is the city's team. And, look, if I end up becoming the mayor of New York City, I'm rooting for everybody. I'm rooting for everybody, supporting everybody. But I grew up a Knicks fan. That is where my heart is.
Okay, that's a good answer, man. That's a good answer. So I respect that. Definitely respect that. Have to support your constituents at the end of the day, but you bleed orange and blue. I can dig it. I can dig it. Any memorable games that you've gone to in the last couple of years, or any that ring a bell to you?
I haven't been able to, things have been pretty active in my professional life. So I've been doing a lot outside of the arena. But I've just been very, very, very thrilled at the recent advancement of the team. When we got Jalen, we had high expectations, but we didn't know that we were going to be what we are today. And to be able to watch playoff games, period, is something that I hadn't always been able to enjoy as an adult Knicks fan. We had some of that with Melo, we had some of that with Steph, but we have a whole team right now, and I think the opportunity that we have to go really far this year and last year as well, to me, is bringing back a hope and an energy that I have not felt since the 90s, and that is really exciting. I hope to be able to go to as many games as possible if my future endeavors work out, and to be a hardcore fan and say, listen, man, I know people are going to have comments on whether I'm going to this event or that event, but to me, this is doing my job, representing the city, being a fan and being at the game, rooting for the Knicks.
100%. Well, that pathway, hopefully, to a championship will have to come at the hands of one Jalen Brunson. Now, here was Tom Thibodeau giving us an update on the captain. I'm going to play this soundbite, and let's react to it on the other side. Here was Knicks coach Tom Thibodeau from the Knicks practice facility speaking on the injury of the captain, Jalen Brunson. Here we go.
Just, he's doing more and more each day. He's feeling a lot better, so really good progress. So, but day to day, basically.
More and more, meaning we need to talk about what he's progressed to.
Yeah, he's still doing, he's not, doing anything in practice yet, so that would be the next step for him probably. But doing a lot of shooting, work in the pool, work on a bike, stuff like that. So his conditioning is pretty good, actually.
All right, so that was head coach Tom Thibodeau, Senator, updating us on the captain, Jalen Brunson. So not practicing yet, but says he's making progress, and hopefully practicing is the next step. The team has said that they will provide an update by next week. What do you think here? Because it seems like, they're hopeful for a window here where he can get back for the last few games of the regular season. There are some All-NBA awards implications there if he can get back there. Hopefully he can get the Clutch Player of the Year award. But what do you think, from a recovery standpoint? Do you think it's wise to get him back at that point, or say game 1 of the playoffs?
Yeah, so this is tough, man, because one, I'm always, when we're analyzing and commenting on NBA players and their injury and how they come back, when they come back, I try to be sensitive because this is their livelihood, and you come back too early, you exacerbate an injury, and that's food on the table for you and your family. I'm always, cautious in that. However, as a fan, let me just caveat this. As a fan, I want him back to at least get a couple of games in before the playoffs so he could play at game speed. Practice is one thing, and you could practice real hard, but that is not game speed. It's not game atmosphere, and I don't want him going into the playoffs cold. And so I'm glad to hear Tip say that his conditioning is good, and we, of course, are wishing him a very speedy and full recovery. But my hope is that he can get a couple of games in so that we go into the playoffs with our leader, our captain, the man who's going to lead us to our championship, playing at game speed.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. I mean, if he can get back before the playoffs just to clear off the rust and, just get back into a groove, because as you said, playoffs is a different animal. The intensity is going to be ratcheted up. We'll talk about who they could play in the first round and your thoughts on that team. But either way, he's going to be a marked man, both on the defensive end, and you're going to have defenders right in his grill when he's on the offensive side, testing his movement. Can he cut? Can he pivot? Can he be that same guy? So it's going to be very interesting, man. Ideally, that would be ideal if he can get back before the playoffs. But, man, it's going to be tricky because you certainly don't want to raise the risk of re-injury. Remember, that happened with Julius Randle when he had sprained his ankle last year. So, you definitely want to avoid, or 2 years ago, rather, but you definitely want to avoid that with Jalen Brunson.
Yeah, now, see, Pete, you know what? That's really important because you got to be able, you want to see how they react to getting hit. And we already know how Jalen plays. He's driving. He is a very physical. He attracts the contact. That's part of his game. And I don't want him taking his first hits. I don't want him getting, going to the lane and getting hit to the ground, that to be the first in the playoffs. I want his body to get reacclimated to that physicality. And hopefully, he can be able to withstand that and do that sooner rather than later.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%. The one thing, though, because it'll be interesting to see how he adjusts. And with these guys going without him now, I think it does present an opportunity for them to go more to a guy like Mikal Bridges, who seems like he can get going and be more productive, especially offensively, when he's involved earlier in the game, where he's not complacent when Brunson is. Look, when Brunson is operating, yes, he can hold on to the ball, but when he's scoring, hey, it works. But a guy like Mikal Bridges, who at times could be the third or even fourth option in an offense, maybe that forces Tibbs and even Brunson to adjust and say, hey, be more of a decoy as you get yourself back into the swing of things. Still get Bridges involved, get Towns involved, OG as well. And then, hey, when we need you in crunch time, hopefully he's the same Captain Clutch that we've become accustomed to.
Now, that is a great point, particularly on the decoy side, because he's going to attract so much attention on the defense. And if he can drive and kick, Bridges has had his ups and downs this season. The past couple of games, I think he's demonstrated, that he's prepared to step up in the right moment. But if Bridges is hitting his outside shot, and Brunson can drive and kick, I think that is going to open things up a lot. And if anyone, if he's able to draw up Bridges, if he's able to draw the defense to him once he starts hitting shots, that opens it up for Brunson and it opens it up for Cat. And I think that's hopefully the situation we're going to get to. Bridges has to remain consistent for that to work, but I think it could be a lethal combination.
You mentioned his consistency, and it's been such a turbulent year for him this year in the backdrop of a big trade, 5 picks, and moving over from Brooklyn to the Knicks. And look, nothing against those Nets, but seems like losing is okay over there. Inconsistency might be okay, but over here, where the jersey is heavy and the spotlight's on you, you're expected to deliver every night. Whether it's realistic or not. What have you made of Bridges and his up and down season?
I think that playing for the Knicks, it's what we go through every free agency when all the media reports on a superstar and whether or not they're going to come to the Knicks, whether or not. And the question to me is always not a capability, not a talent thing, but do you have the mental toughness to play in New York? Because when you're doing well, there's no better place in the country to play. When you're not doing well, you don't want to be here because the fans are going to tell you about yourself. The media is going to tell you about yourself. It's a tough place. I mean, look, New York City's a tough place. And you got to be of a certain character to be able to survive and thrive here. And I think the same holds true for the Knicks. And I think Bridges has had an adjustment. And that's okay because pressure either reveals that you are a better person and that you can be great, or it means that you got to find another place to be successful. And I think Bridges, in his adjustment, his ups and downs, I think he has shown us real flashes that this can be a place that he can thrive. And hopefully now, with the length of the season coming to a close, he has made some of those mental adjustments. He's gotten acclimated to his role in the team and is going to come up big for us in the playoffs. Like, I remember some of the moments he had as the third or fourth option when he was in Phoenix. And he had some big playoff moments in Phoenix. And for some players, that is a comfortable spot for them. They are ready to step up when needed to. Our hope is that this is going to be the same for him. He's going to have another test and another adjustment in the playoffs because playing in the regular season is one thing. Playing as a Knicks roster player and someone who is dependent upon in the playoffs is another.
Yeah, no question about it. Once again, we are talking to New York State Senator Zellnor Myrie representing the Republic of Brooklyn, man. If you guys are representing Brooklyn in the chat, go ahead and throw a BK in the chat so we can shout you guys out. I see some people in here representing already, man. So shout out to Brooklyn. I see Maya Handa says, at Zellnor for NY. Salute. Somebody in the chat says Brunson 2028. Okay, so they're throwing the captain in the race here. Well, yeah, that's just how our people do, man. Salute to everybody in the chat. Now, as we, these final 12 games, very important because Brunson is going to be coming back. However, you have a guy here in Miles McBride doing well as well, but got injured. And now it's Tyler the Creator's time, Tyler Kolek. So I'm going to play some sound bites here from his teammates reacting to Kolek's emergence here, and then I want to get your opinion. So first off, here is the dog, OG Anunoby. I call him the dog, Senator, because, he's a defensive guy, and his name is OG, so it's an easy nickname there. But here's the dog on Tyler, and we'll hear his reaction here. Here we go.
Now that McBride's back, just what you saw the other day from point guard position and the confidence level with the single job that they did.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, Cam and Tyler. Everyone knows they're all capable. They're great players. They do a great job of controlling the pace, setting us up. So we weren't surprised at all.
All right, that OG's very low, but he said he does a great job of setting the pace and getting them involved. And here's Josh Hart on Tyler. Here he goes.
Our confidence in the game, we're seeing the point guards perform the way that they did tonight.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, when you got guys out and guys step up, that gives you extreme confidence in those guys and in the flow of the team. And that's what the NBA season is guys staying ready and when they get their opportunity, seizing it.
When they're getting their opportunity, seizing it, seems like Tyler Kolek is doing just that. What's been your impressions here?
I've been very impressed, man. Very, very impressed. And let me just say, and a lot of your viewers and your listeners know this, but playing the point guard position is harder than any other position, right? Because you're calling the plays, you're controlling the tempo. You have to, your teammates have to trust you that you're going to execute. You're going to find people when they're hot. You're going to maybe hold on to the ball when they're not. And for a rookie to step in and to control pace and to get, what did he get? 8 assists on
8 assists.
Saturday?
8 assists. Yep.
8 assists. For you to get 8 dimes out the gate, that is really impressive. That is a very high basketball IQ. And as we heard from OG and Hart, he has the trust of his teammates as well. So from going, in practice where you're running the plays as the second, third option to have to step in and be the guy immediately, I think is really impressive. I think it bodes well for his future. Look, we don't know what the injury future is going to hold in the playoffs, but I think he should be given some more opportunity. And I get that that is almost apocryphal to say in a team coached by Tom Thibodeau. But I think it's important. Like, let these young boys play, man. Give them some opportunity because we got some other young people coming up in the system in the G League. I think McCullough is killing in Westchester.
Yeah.
Like we have some young talent that's coming up. Let's give them a chance if we can, so that if somebody goes down, someone's not coming in cold, but they've had some reps to them.
Yeah, and now's the time, especially for Kolek. McCullers, it seems like they have him on a program, so he's more of a next year type of situation. But for Kolek right now, I like to see him out there running with the starters and Bridges and Towns and OG Anunoby because, when you see this offense getting bogged down and stuck in the mud, it's clear that they need a playmaker. And, he just makes it look so simple out there with the IQ, getting these guys in their spots. He just makes things so much easier for these guys. So with these final 12 to go, I was told that McBride is expected to miss a couple of games here. So that gives Kolek an opportunity to warm up with this young group and also to see how they adjust because as more and more tape is out there on him, he's going to get tested a lot more defensively. So let's see how they adjust in his minutes.
Yeah, it's also a testament. I know we're in the midst of March Madness. It's a testament to how doing well in the tournament and being able to play in that atmosphere translates to being able to play on this big stage. He is not unfamiliar with the spotlight, with how he did at Marquette, and so I'm really excited to see him be able to hoop over the next couple of games.
Yeah, likewise. And once again, we are speaking to New York State Senator Zellnor Myrie, CP the franchise in the building. YouTube and Bleacher Report, KFTV simulcast. Salute to everybody watching on Facebook, Twitter, X, and Instagram as well. I had a guest on this week. My guy Ariel Helwani was on the show, and we were talking about potential first-round matchups. The Pacers, the Bucks, the Pistons. That's 4, 5, 6 right now, but it's a very tight race. And anything can change by the time we get to the end of the season, which is April 13th. Of those three, who do you think presents the toughest matchup for the Knicks?
So let me reinforce what I said earlier that we ain't afraid of anybody.
Right. Dodging no smoke.
Anybody, just to be clear.
Yeah.
But I think the Bucks would present some real challenges for us out of those three. I personally want revenge on Indiana, but also realize some of the challenges that they may pose to us. And so I think in this moment that we match up best with Detroit, and that's no shade to them, and they're having a good season, and Cade Cunningham is balling out, and he has a bright future. But I think that we probably match up best with them, and I'm hoping that that's the draw. But as you said, it's a close race. We got to make sure that we close out the season strong so that we're not allowing Indiana to gain on us, and then we get the right matchup in the first round.
Yeah, no, I'm with you. I'm putting Indiana at the top because I feel like their depth and their play style could be an issue for the Knicks as it was last year. As much as I want that revenge, I see them being a big challenge. The Bucks, though, you can't sleep when you have two superstars in Dame and Giannis because those guys put so much pressure on a defense. Giannis alone on both ends of the floor can be a game wrecker. So, you know, it's definitely tricky there, especially when he gets aggressive and starts bullying guys. That could put guys like a Towns, a Mitchell Robinson, and OG Anunoby when Tibbs puts him out there. That could put them in foul trouble if he's getting aggressive and getting the benefit of the whistle.
Yeah, look, if we get Milwaukee, I want the version of Giannis that loves to take three-pointers. I want, I want Giannis. I want Giannis shooting jump shots the whole game. Do not take it inside, but because of what you said, get our bigs in trouble. So Giannis, if you're listening, man, like we really just want you to like work on that outside game. You know, we think that's where you're going to be best positioned if we end up playing them in the first round.
No question about it, man. And you also mentioned you're a sneakerhead. What is your, you know, when you're not out there on the campaign trail and not out there fighting the good fight, when you just casualing it up, what's your go-to kicks?
Yeah, so I think my most versatile. So this is like if I'm going out with my wife for a date night, and we're going to a relatively nice place, I feel like I could still get away with some Jordan 11s. And I can, you know, mix it up depending. I could go Cool Grays, I could go Space Jams, you know, keep it classy still, but let people know what time it is. And you know how this is. You know how this is. You see another sneakerhead. I remember I was out with my wife. We went to a place in Manhattan, and I had on the playoff eights.
Okay.
And you know, so I'm setting up. I'm trying to surprise my wife because she didn't know I was going to take her to a show after. And the guy, the host, he's like, "Okay, playoff eights." And I was like, yeah,
Respect.
you know, yeah, respect.
Yeah.
And so that's how I like to do it when I'm not politicking.
There you go. You know, I'm an Air Max 1 guy myself. I'm an Air Max 1 guy. Slip them on, slip them off. I mean, I got a ton of Air Max 1s in the closet right now. I consider myself a retired sneakerhead. Like I just hate the way that, you know, just you can't even get access to things, man, with the way the hype is just going through the roof. So to me, I kind of, you know, just retired, but it's also good because I can kind of just dip into the archives and pull out some heat and be good to go.
Bro, the game is different now than what it was when you and I came up.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Where you could stand online and like in short. Now look, standing online had its own perils, right?
Yes.
You know, I have stories about that too.
Sure.
But now we have bots. We have all sorts of things where it's impossible for you to get a pair. The resale market is ridiculous. And so I have tried to resist my urges in getting everything that comes out because right now it's too expensive to justify.
Yeah.
But I'm a big Air Max guy too, man. I love Air Maxes and Air Max 1s. Those also you can get away with some flexibility. So you gotta show me heat sometime.
That's it, man. Right now, I'm looking at a pair of Space Jams that I gotta sell. For some reason, my 11 stopped fitting me well. So, like, you know, with the patent leather, there's no wiggle room there.
There isn't. And you know, the moisture gets in. You know, so we could have a whole sneaker shrink conversation.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. So I gotta look to get rid of those. I have those. I have the you know which ones I always wanted, man, that I couldn't get my hands on? The Gamma ones. You remember those?
Yes.
The Gammas, man. When those Gammas dropped, I always wanted those. I could never get my hands on them. And then the resale value just went through the roof.
There's like no way you're going to get them. But the one that got away from me was the Pigeon SB Dunks that like had the pigeon on the heel. Unfamiliar. And I wish I would have gotten them when they came out because now, of course, there's just thousands of dollars for you to get your hands on them. But, you know, that's just how it's going to be. I can't justify it to my wife. I just can't.
Absolutely, man. My guy Gregory Weiner, franchise channel member, says, I got that old man foot. Yeah, man. I don't know if it's the bunions is ratcheted up, man. I don't know. I'm in trouble right now, man. My guy Do Things. What size are those Space Jams? Size 12. I got these. I got the 72 and 10s. just sitting on ice, man. They icy, man. They're definitely icy. So, yeah, man, we'll definitely we'll reconnect on a sneaker convo. Maybe during the playoffs or down the road. But most importantly, man, you are running for mayor in New York City, man. You are running for New York City, mayor of New York City. What's that process like when you're handling your state senator duties and also on the campaign trail, meeting with the broader New York City?
It's nothing like it. I'm born and raised in this city. As I mentioned, my parents are immigrants. They came from Costa Rica. They worked in factories here, sent me to public schools in the city. I was able to eventually go to law school, work at a law firm, run for state senate. And that to me is the New York City story. That's the essence of what we are, that no matter where you come from, you can come here, you can find opportunity, you can be great. And the thing that I want to do as the next mayor is ensure that everybody has that opportunity, that whether or not you want to be an artist, you want to be a lawyer, a business owner, a sportscaster, whatever it is, that you can come here, you can have the city that's affordable, that's livable, and that's safe. And it's been great to be out talking to people, getting their feedback, and really enjoying the city that has made me who I am today.
One of the things that I find intriguing about, running for office and politics in general is how do you balance the demand? Everybody has needs. Everybody, has something that they're looking for in their representative. How do you balance the needs of everybody that you're speaking to?
CP, you got to be honest with folks, right? Like, be who you are, be yourself, because then you don't have to switch up. Then you don't have to figure out, oh, well, how do I talk to this group and talk to that group? Be honest, transparent about what you can do and what you cannot do. I find that most people, if you explain to them what your vision is and you talk to them about why you've done the things that you've done, you explain your values, that even if they disagree with the outcome, even if you can't help them in that moment, they respect you because they know that it's genuine and it's coming from here. And that's what I've been trying to do in my run for mayor. Just be honest with folks about what we need to do, what the state of our city is. And then you recognize that you can't please everybody. This is not a business to get into if you want to make everybody happy. You want to do that, sell ice cream, do something that everybody loves. But if you want to be a leader, you're going to have to make some people upset. You're going to have to not please everybody. And that's okay, because that's what leadership is.
There you go, man. Well, we definitely wish you luck on your endeavors and on the journey. And I also pulled up, you guys are hosting a watch party this Friday for the Knicks versus Bucks game at Stout. You want to give the people a little bit more information on that?
Yeah, so please pull up. We're going to be there on Friday. I would encourage you to go to my website, Zellnor, ZELLNOR.NYC. Check us out. Our information is there. Details on that are there. I'm also going to have someone put it in the chat so you can have all the details. Looking forward to seeing y'all. We got to have fun. It is a hard and crazy time. We got to have fun while we're trying to make a difference, and that's part of why we're trying to switch it up a little bit.
There you go. Well, this was just your intro to KFTV, and hopefully we'll do it down the road as time permits for you. But best of luck. Enjoy Friday night, and let's go Knicks, man.
Appreciate you. Let's go Knicks, and let's keep it going.
All right. Once again, that was Senator Zellnor Myrie, New York State Senator, man. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, and subscribe to the channel. Definitely appreciate the Senator's time, man. Talked a little Knicks. Some of you guys are surprised, man. You didn't know he was sharp on his Knicks talk. Yeah, man, the guy talks the talk. He's one of us, man. So shout out to the state senator, and certainly good luck to him on his journey. Salute to everybody in the chat once again. Hit the like button, hit the share button, subscribe to the channel. Another KFTV production. All right, let me just get a quick reset here and get my thoughts together. Knicks taking on the Mavericks tomorrow. We talked about the updates with the captain. We talked about the captain, Jalen Brunson. And look, as I told you guys, man, when we first broke the news here many weeks ago, everybody's kind of catching up now. But when we first broke the news, he told you it could be a playoff thing. And as Tom Thibodeau told you guys, the captain's not close right now. So let's see what happens when they come back with another update next week. I'm with you guys, though. Like, I would like to see if he can ramp up in the regular season before the playoffs. I think that would be ideal. But hey, let's see what happens, man. Salute to the captain And we wish him a speedy recovery. But for right now, I'm excited like you guys are, man, because it is Tyler Kolek time. It is Tyler Kolek time. So to my franchise channel members, they are in here heavy right now. The franchise channel members are in the building. Let me shout you guys out, man. Let me salute the family right now on this 6 o'clock p.m. grind. Fabian Aramaris, I see you. Edwin Diaz says, wow, big things for the Senator Myrie. Good luck on your drive on becoming NYC mayor. Good question, CP, and good reply by the senator. Just keeping it real. Yeah, listen, man, we want to ask the questions, man. We want to ask the questions. Jude Sanone, I see you. 2K Anthony J, salute to you. Yes, AD will be back tonight. AD's coming back tonight against the Nets. So you can expect maybe, let's see what the plan is in terms of him playing back-to-backs. But we'll be ready. We got to be ready. Can't duck nobody. And speaking of the Dallas Mavericks, tomorrow we will have Tim McMahon, beat writer for the Dallas Mavericks, came out with a book on Luka Doncic, but also has a lot on Brunson in there. So we're going to dissect that tomorrow. Look out for that. We'll premiere that at 12 o'clock. Franchise channel members, you'll get access to that earlier. As soon as we can get that, because that's a benefit of being a franchise channel member, where if we're going to record shows, record some content, you guys get first dibs on that. So we're going to hear from Tim McMahon and hear what he had to say, man. He had a lot to say on Captain Clutch Jalen Brunson. So very much interested in that as well. And then we will have play-by-play live, followed by post-game live, man. So going to be an action-packed show, and certainly looking forward to rocking with the people. All right, who else we got here? Lash, what's good, Lash? Salute to you. Lash said I got to come out of retirement with the sneaker talk. Yeah, I can't do the lines. I can't do none of that, man. It's just too much to deal with, man. It's too much to deal with. You got kids getting mobbed up for kicks. Did you guys see the one with the Pokemon release? What was it, up in Canada? They had my man had the plumber's crack out. He was getting it from all sides. What was it? A Pikachu mystery box? Oh my Lord. It's just getting out of hand, man, with the hype on all type of releases. Now kids can't even go home with the Charizard mystery box. He's getting lumped up. Man got lumped up for his Pikachus, Lawrence Smith, man. What's going on? My time was a little bit different. In my time, Brooklyn days, those triple fat goose or your polos, yeah, you got to be careful where you wearing those. You might not make it home with those. You might be coming home barefoot or nippy with no jacket. But now it's everything, man. It's the Jordans, the Pokemon stuff, the cards. It's a different time, man. I'd rather just dip into the archive, rock what I need to rock, step out, fly. Me and wifey going on a date. And that's the thing. I keep all my joints pretty crispy and clean anyway. So I'm in a good spot. I'm at peace with retiring from the sneaker game. I can't just be chasing hype, man. I can't. I'm too old to be doing that. Yeah. Brandon Lee, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. My Brooklyn people know what it is, man. Remember the triple fat goose? Oh, the Averex. Yeah, if you had the fresh Averex, those might get snatched. The iceberg. Ooh, the iceberg era was pretty crazy, wasn't it? Yeah. the iceberg era, man. Yeah, those are some crazy days. So, hey, to you kids out there, you parents with kids out there, I wish you guys the best of luck. So what was I saying now? Tomorrow we got Tim McMahon. And then we got Dallas. Then back-to-back we have the Clippers. And then we got the Bucks. As the senator said, hey, got to be careful with those guys. But as he also said, we're not ducking any smoke. I like that. He's a fighter. You know what I'm saying? So salute to that. Okay, as we wrap up, hey, man, let's salute our sponsor, man. Salute to DraftKings. Hey, when it comes to college basketball and March Mania, one thing is for sure, nothing's for sure. Upsets, buzzer beaters, Cinderella's advancing. Top seeds going home early. It's all going to happen. Bet the unexpected, every upset, every day with DraftKings Sportsbook. With live betting, exclusive content, promos, and parlays, DraftKings is the ultimate college basketball destination for March. And if it's your first time, here's something special just for you. New DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets. That's $200 in bonus bets. So, hey, if you want to jump in on a little Knicks versus Mavericks, you can tap in with that and maybe use your bonus bets that way. Or you got the tournament coming up, Sweet 16 coming up next weekend. You can use it that way. So either way, man, use our code KFTV, bet 5 to get $200 in bonus bets. Only on DraftKings, the crown is yours. If you have a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY, which is 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. Remember, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. This is void in Ontario for new customers only, and the bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. So for additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. All right, man. Great show, yo. Great show. So to the senator for coming in. And tap in with us, man. Number one show for the fans by the fans. Salute to the replay gang. Salute to everybody on the grind. Get home safely. And salute to all of our new viewers, man. If you guys are new in the chat, tapping in with us, man. Leave me a hashtag new. We'll shout you guys out. My guy Zach checking in from the West Coast. Shout out to Gamba. Shout out to TM, Tyler. Shout out to Tyler Kolek for keeping us off the ledge. Giant Nick 87, salute. Yeah, definitely salute to all of the new franchise channel members. I think we have some other ones too I want to shout out to. Hang on. Let me salute you guys as well, man. Salute to Sam franchise channel members. Just Knicks, J-Rock71, Ty Vales. Salute to you guys. Billy Bellin, welcome back. Marcus Miller. Salute to you guys, man. All right, I'm about to get out of here, man. You guys enjoy your evening, and we'll catch up tomorrow. Another action-packed day at Knicks Fan TV. Like, share, subscribe.